Let's dive into some positive focus, guys. How are we feeling today? I know it's raining. Everybody looks a little quiet. Everybody looks a little, we're tired. Where we at? We got some energy, shaking the cobwebs
There's
off.
business to be done out there.
What do we got? You got more for everybody else? Let's get some positive focus. So let's think this past week, right? Let's just reflect for this past week, right? What are we most grateful for today? It could be business. It could be personal. Maybe what was the highlight of your week? Is there anybody on the team that you want to give a shout out to? Or is there something, man, like this happened this past week and I just want to acknowledge that. I'm grateful for that. I need a few volunteers. Talk to me. I'll raise your hand at once.
This is Jesse. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, talk to me, bro.
I want to shout out Mark for collaborating on the St. Gilroy area.
Mhm.
You know, I was able to go out and meet and assist the husband. So yeah, shout out Mark for being a team player.
Team player. Let's go. Let's give it up for Mark, guys. Collabing with Matt over here. Good job, Mark.
I'll go next.
Georgia. There we go.
I want to shout out Matt because he last minute took over my open house on Friday night so that I could go to a women's in realty networking event. And I got to see firsthand what a $14 million home looks like. I got to get some advice from some great people, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if he had jumped on and taken over for me. So thank you.
Let's go. Teamwork. I like that. I like that. Love it. Love it. George, talk to me. You raised your hand.
First, gonna give a shout out to myself. I did my first ever booth event in a public space. But I also want to give a shout out to David for being out there and handling the lending part of it. Yeah, it was a great event. We did Be Like I Said Trey on Sunday. And we were out there all day just canvassing, talking to people and answering any questions they had regarding real estate.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Good job on taking the initiative on hosting that booth. What did you learn most about hosting a booth? Because there's other people that want to host booths.
It's going to be a lot more canvassing, not so much kind of like direct interaction with people. It's something that's just going to happen quick. It's like a quick conversation, get their information, not just give them your business card. So if you see someone's like interested or asking you questions, like, oh, you know what, let me text you my business card, so that way you can have their number and follow up with them rather than just like, oh, here's my business card, give me a call, because then you can't follow up with them.
Yeah, great tip. So making sure you're getting their contact info or using the strategy of, hey, let me text you my info so that you automatically have their number, right? And then being able to follow up with them in the future.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. You have some?
Yes. I want to shout out.
Oh, you want to shout out somebody?
I want to shout out Sheetal and Meghna both actually for their hustle. I dropped by the Sheetal's open house, your friends listing in the Rosemary Garden, because I know the neighborhood very well. Last year I put some offers, so I went and helped her to show some data and everything. So we got one client, but overall I saw her in the field, like how she's talking to the clients and all. She's really stepping up the game. I think she learned so much doing all these open houses, gathering, giving data, and talking to them to sign up. Because earlier I see these guys are shy to even ask them to sign in, but now they are like, no, make them sign in. I was telling to Sheetal and Meghna, no, make them sign in. So why you're standing here on the weekend, right? Leaving your family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to shout out both of them. Both are doing open houses, and, really gathering some good leads and learning so much.
That's good. Yeah. They're turning into sharks now, basically, right? What you got, man?
We'll shout out John.
Enrique, may I just say something? I'm driving, so
sorry,
I don't know whether you guys can hear me.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got to follow up on that, and then we'll get to that.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to Sri. Since he came to my open house, he was my lucky charm. Till then, 1 hour I was just sitting idle. Nobody was there. Since Sri came up, he saw many people have come. So I request Sri, whenever I'm having an open house, I would like him to just drop by for 5 minutes at least. Thank you, Sri.
So after Sri got there, then the people started coming. Good stuff. Matt, what do you got, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna shout out John. Friday we were hanging out in the office, just me and him, and I was able to pick his brain on listings in like his presentation, how he explains it, it interacts with clients.
Mhm.
And I thought it was super genuine and cool. So, John, I appreciate that time and thank you.
Oh, Chuck. Oh, I love it, guys. We're seeing a lot of teamwork here. That's a big part of what we do, right? Is collaborate. So I love that I'm seeing that. We got a couple more hands. Let's go. Jesse. Sorry, we'll get to you in a second. Jesse, you have a question, a comment, or shout out?
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks to Hayden for shooting me over a referral in Carmel Valley. I hadn't been out there for a while since I used to work out there, and it was nice to go out to Carmel, check it out, hang out with the buyer, go through the property process. Right now, we're working with a few different lenders to get things going. So I wanted to thank him for that. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Vina, talk to me.
Hi, I want to give two shout outs. One to Matt, basically putting out the warning about that property. He went there and he told everybody, hey, don't even go there. I think that's very important. Like, if you have come through something like that, and we just want to make sure that everybody, is aware what kind of a property, whether we should be going there or not. I think that was a very nice thing from him. Secondly, I want to shout out to Steve. He got onto a call with me to speak to a client, even though he knew that client is not very promising, but so patiently he spoke to her, made her understand, how she may not get qualified, what she needs to do to get qualified and all. It was very nice of him. I totally saw like how professional he is. So that was really nice. Thank you, Steve.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Round of applause for everybody. Good stuff. And you had something as well. And then you want to introduce yourself really quick, just for the people that haven't met you?
Yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank Enrique and Jason for letting me join, giving this opportunity to join the team. So I just started my onboarding. I'm Vandana Kasarla. So I'll be joining all the trainings now going forward. And I live close to Fremont. So if you have anything close by, if you need any help, I'm always there.
Let's go. All right. Okay. And why don't you introduce yourself as well, right, for the people that haven't met you?
Hi everyone, my name is Juan. I have been with HC for a few years now. Recently, I've been doing a lot of cold calling on expire and cancel listing. So I want to be, focus on the listing size. And first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity, Jason and Enrique, to welcome me to the team, and look forward to work with everyone.
Awesome. Go. Team's growing, guys. Let's go. All right. Anybody want to reintroduce themselves before we move on? All right. Let's kick it off, guys. Let's get into some of the housekeeping stuff. Just pulling up some of the numbers that we're going to go over this week. Okay, just looking at our deal flow, guys, right now, we're just right under 40 million closed and pending, with about 30 million closed, close to 10 million pending, 5 deals that are active, or listings that are active, and 6 listings that are coming soon. And I know we got a bunch more stuff in the pipe. We're a little behind on just getting stuff pending and closed for the month, right? Because today's, we're already on the 21st, and so far we're at 3 pending deals, 3 signed listings, but I know there's a lot of stuff that's out right now. There's offers being written. John's working on a couple deals. Mark, I've checked in with a lot of you. And so I'm hoping this, within the next a week and a half or whatever that we have left, we can really push some of those numbers, guys, so that we could be on track. But that's where we're at, guys. So just going back to basics, right? Which is why we are starting to get back to just tracking the, our daily hustle, right? Because it's those things that we do every single day in our business, from making calls and booking appointments, that's going to translate into the closings, right? So the more that you can buy into, tracking your numbers and like, what's a good week for me? That's what I want to leave you guys with, right? Is think about what's a good week for me? What's the amount of calls or appointments or people that I'm meeting or open houses that I'm working? That means I had a solid, productive week, right? Because as we know, guys, it's not the agents that tend to win in this business are the ones that are consistent with their hustle, right? You need hustle and you need the skills, right? And so that's the other thing too. If you're hustling, but you're not converting, then what skill set do you need, right? Do you need to show up to training more? Do you need to book one-on-ones? are you taking advantage of all the tools and resources that we have, right? We do some excellent trainings, right? There's some of you that I see consistently here, and there's some people that I see once in a while. So I would just go back to, what do I need to do, or who do I need to talk to, or what training do I need to attend so that I can get the skills necessary, right? And if we look at it, just keep it simple, guys, activity and skills, you know, it makes it simple, right? All the other stuff will start to come together if you're working on your hustle every day, and if you're constantly improving with your skill set, right? So that's what I want to say to you guys for this. Let's look at the market really quick, just looking at the inventory and where we're at. This is just Santa Clara County, right? If you guys want to look at other counties, you guys can definitely do that on your own. But 1407 inventory is still going up, right? So single family homes, we're at 1407. Isn't it crazy that like a couple months ago we were only at 542, right? There was only 542 homes available, and now we're at 1407. So week by week, that inventory is going up, right? We're right in springtime. It's following the trend. The inventory is going to keep going up. Same thing with townhouse and condo. We're close to 1,000. We're at 988, close to 1,000, right? We haven't seen 1,000 in a long time, but I got a feeling like in the next 2 weeks, we'll be hitting 1,000 active townhomes and condos. Now, what's important to look at, guys, is just the number of pending and contingent, right? If you look right here, like the last, 6 weeks or so, we've been like in the mid sixes, right? 667, we're at 640 today. Those numbers seem to they were ramping up, and now they seem to be tapering off, right? So that means there's more inventory right now for the amount of homes that are going pending. This is the whole county, right? So every neighborhood is a little specific, but what I would be telling people is like, hey, homes are going to be probably sitting on the market a little bit longer. There's more to choose from, right? If we have 640 pending and we got 1407, that's more than double, right? So there's probably at least 2 months worth of inventory, for single family homes. And so that means buyers have more options right now, right? And so I would be preaching to all my buyers right now, like, hey, there's more options. If you were on the fence before, now's a good time to get in, right? Because you may not be competing with as many people, right? Same thing with townhomes, right? 319 pending, but there's close to 1,000 available. There's 3 times, right? From the amount that are under contract versus what's available. So townhome and condo, there's a lot to choose from. When there's more to choose from, that means more negotiation power, better terms, better prices, better credits, getting the commission paid for, all those different things, right? So just giving you guys a pulse on the market. It's important that you have a pulse on the market. And when people ask you, how's the market? Or when people come to your open house and they want to know like what's going on, right? You need to be able to give them a pulse, right? Of where the market's at. So use this data, guys, to your advantage. And then the other thing I would say is learn how to get this data on your own, right? So that you don't have to wait till the Tuesday meeting, right? It's very easy, right? I've showed you guys before, just going into the stats and just looking at what's active, what's pending.
Put a video on this in agent.
I believe there's a video in Agent Launch on how to pull stats, right? And I'm going to go over another tool today that I'll show you guys. But just knowing how to pull this up, right? So that when you're with someone, you're like, hey, let's pull up the neighborhood you're looking in, right? One of the resources was the Redfin data center. I sent that to Blanca earlier. So if you were just to go into Google and you type in Redfin data center, you'll see this first link right here. Redfin has a really, really good site that's interactive where there's like so much data on here that you can geek out on, right? From housing data, investor data, there's printable guides, there's the rental market, buyer versus seller dynamic. And then within that, you can go to like new listings. So say I wanted to go like a certain county, right? And then I wanted to go Santa Clara or Alameda or something. I can look at the last 4 weeks, for that county and kind of see how many new listings there are year over year. If I wanted to look at pending sales, I just click on that one. It's going to tell me the pending sales, stuff that flew off the market within 2 weeks, how many homes sold. Like there's so much stuff that you can geek out on, and it's just really just click those buttons. So this is a really good site to use. And it even gives you historical data, guys. Like you can go back like the last few years if you're trying to show somebody, you know, kind of where it's at. Monthly housing data, like there's a lot, right? You can like spend a lot of time going in here, but this is a really good site, especially for those clients that want to see data. Just knowing how to use this resource and just at least give them a snapshot of what's happening in the market. I would encourage you guys to play around with this and just get used to pulling this stuff up. Any questions, guys, on kind of the market activities or anything like that? Okay. Let's look at the numbers now, right? We all tracked our numbers this past week, so I want to share this and give some shout outs just for the people who are getting after it and hustling. And so we'll start off with calls, right? So just putting this in terms of highest to lowest. John, was this 2 calls, 73 texts? Is that what that meant?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 calls, 73 texts, a lot of text messages, but just looking at the sheer number of calls, right? Tom, 162, Megan, 150. And then we had some of these, you know, the numbers go down a bit. But I want you guys to ask yourself, right? Is this a good number for me or not? Right? Now, the calls don't tell the whole story, right? So I always say this, right? Like if you're not making your calls in FUB and you're doing a lot of calls straight from your phone, it's not going to track that, right? So remember to play this game and do it the right way so you can kind of gauge where you're at. Do the calls in FUB, right? Yes.
I have a quick question regarding what we're tracking the number of calls, the number of phone or the number of leads. Let's say what 162, what does that mean?
That's just how many calls he made. How many dials?
Oh, so this is because somehow at least they might be like 2 or 3 numbers.
Yeah. So if you call 2 or 3 phone numbers, that's going to count for 3 dials, right? Now it's a little bit different though if you're calling like mass dialing or you're calling like a pipeline of leads. So a lot of these ones that people are calling here in FUB, it's like a pipeline of leads that they already spoke to and they're nurturing, right?
Oh, okay.
Versus
So 1 phone number for 1 lead.
yeah, versus a dialer, like if you're using, you know, Mojo or Vulcan or one of those, like you might call hundreds and hundreds in one day, right? So this is not like mass dialing, so to say. This is just people following up with their leads, right? But wherever you landed here, right? Look at how that correlates to your appointments, right? Because now we're going to go into appointments. So you can kind of gauge your number for how many calls did I make and then see how many appointments did I get, right? Some of you guys are getting, you know, a lot of opportunity from like Zillow and stuff like that. So you're booking appointments with new people. Some of you guys aren't getting that many appointments. So you're gonna have to make more calls to book appointments, right? So just looking at that, right? Like Mark had 11 appointments set, 11 appointments met. It's a lot. You know, 5 and 5 for Shri, 4 and 0 for Tom. Like this is the number I would look at right here, right? If you booked 4 appointments and you didn't meet with any of them, what's the story in there, right? You don't have to say it now, but what's my confirmation process, right? What am I saying on the call? Am I putting stuff in the calendar, right? That's another thing we talked about, why it's important to do a calendar invite, a text message reminder, and maybe even a video, just putting the face to the name so that they're more likely to show up, right? So you guys can kind of see how these numbers start to kind of translate, right? From set to met and then signed over here, right? Mark had 1 buyer signed, 1 pending listing. We can look at those numbers. Open houses as well. This is another thing, right? How many of us are really taking open houses seriously, right? We see a couple people really getting after it for open houses consistently, and some people are not. So then what I would ask you, if you're not working open houses, is, well, what's the rest of your weekend look like, right? If you were showing homes all weekend and that's why you didn't work an open house, well, then that's great. That means you have appointments, right? So, but if you had no open houses and no home showings that weekend, right? Then what did you do on that weekend, right? Because remember, yeah, and very low calls, right? So I would be looking at that, you know, and really ask myself, hey, am I hustling enough to hit the goals that I want to hit, right? Trainings attended, like everyone is pretty consistent with showing up to training. So I'm seeing a lot of 2s, couple 1s. And then social media, right? We know that social media is not just for getting deals right now, but it's also to help you convert other people that you're talking to, right? What are people seeing when they search you online, on social media. I told you guys how I got a listing appointment, right? I'm going on that one tomorrow, and he found me on ChatGPT. But he found me on ChatGPT because when you search my name, a lot of stuff pops up, right? The content, the YouTube stuff, everything. So what are you posting out there that's helping you secure and convert your buyers and sellers, right? And then we can see the pipeline. Pretty much everyone on the team has people that they're working with, right? At least 2 or 3 or more that they're working with. So my question to you guys, when we look at your hot clients, right, is, hey, grab a seat, is what is the next step that I got to take to move this person forward, right? That's what I would be asking myself. If I have these 3 hot clients, is what's the next step to move them forward or closer to getting in contract or closer to making the deal happen? Is it the consult? Is it talking to the lender? Is it walking their property? Is it talking to their tax guy? Whatever that might be, right? So always think to myself, like, what's the next step? Is it going over the numbers with them, writing the offer consultation, right? There is a next step for everybody. But I like having this top 3 because even when I do meetings with some of our top agents, we're always looking at what's the top 3. Who are your top 3? How can we move them forward? It's a lot easier to think of like my hottest 3 than like I got these 10 people that I'm calling, right? Like 10 is a lot to think about in your mind, right? But like 3 or 4 at a time, it's easy to like, okay, now I know who I'm going after, right? So always kind of looking at your business in terms of who are my top 3 that I'm working on. It's really effective, right? Any question on the numbers, guys? What stood out to you most about me going over your numbers? Because everyone got a chance to see their numbers, right? What stood out to you the most? What would the adjustment be for this week? Who would like to volunteer? Who would like to be brave? Blanca.
For me, it's being more intentional on bug. Because I tend to just pick up my phone and call directly from my phone or text them directly from my phone and not go through bug. But just from my tracking purposes, just so I'm visually seeing my activity, it's going to be that. Yeah.
So I like that you said that, right? Because Blanca is the top producer. She's closing a lot of deals, right? But even for her, like, what's the next level, right? It's because you know you're busy, you're hustling, your calendar is full, right? You're tired, you worked a long day. But the only way to really scale something is to track it and measure it, right? If something is not tracked or measured, then you don't know what your next move is, because then what you're doing is you're just going by feeling afterwards, right? And so I like that you raised your hand, right? Because it's like, I feel like I did a lot, but what did I actually do, right? So I think for someone like Blanca, it's going to give you clarity, and then clarity is going to allow you to make moves, right? Who else? Vina, talk to me.
I'm seeing that people are interested, but they are on the fence. They are not able to go to the next step. You know,
Mhm.
they reach out and then they just stop talking, or they're not responding. I'm just thinking, what is the way, like everybody else, they are able to move forward with them? How are they able to change their mind or make them come back and talk and, you know?
I think you're asking a really general question, right? So just to keep it kind of general, you can't make someone buy or sell, right? I think that's what we always got to remember. It has to be the right time for them, right? So what I would always do is I would try to ask more questions to understand where they're at. And then you have to determine what's the best way to follow up or the best way to provide value, right? Like if someone says like, hey, I am looking to buy, but not till next year. Well, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to speed that process up. You can say, hey, well, what's happening next year that is making you want to wait, and then see if there's like maybe something you could do sooner. But maybe there's like some big life change happening in a year, and so there's not really anything you can do. So I think I always go back to like, are you asking the right questions, right? Get out of like, when do you want to buy or sell, and ask more like, what's happening in your life? What's making you want to make this move? Why in this time? What's some of the information you might need to help you clarify, is it the right time to buy or sell, right? So I think if you ask the right questions, it'll open up which path you have to go down, right?
It allows you to see what value you can provide.
Yeah.
with their situation.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe someone wants to sell, but they can't sell for like another 2 years because they're going to retire, right? So it's like, it doesn't make sense for them to sell. So then how can I be of service to you in the next 2 years, right? You know, so it's really going to be finding out what their specific needs are, where they're at in the process, and then how you would be valuable as an agent from here till the day they're ready.
One thing that's extremely important is that you got to get comfortable asking those uncomfortable questions with the client, with the buyer or seller.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times people avoid those questions, right? And you have to really dig deep and ask those questions so that you can provide that value.
Yeah. Like if
Yeah.
yeah, like when someone's looking to buy, like, hey, I'm looking to buy in 6 months, then 6 months is not that far away, right? Hey, what's happening in 6 months that's making you want to buy, right? Oh, I'm waiting for prices to go down. Okay, now that's something you could talk about. But like, I'm waiting to get a job transfer. Well, you can't speed up the job transfer. But I'm waiting for prices to get down, then I would ask, well, hey, what sort of price do you think would make sense, right? Or what's your budget right now? Or what were you hoping the prices get to? And
I
so,
like to ask the question of, what is it going to have to take for you to participate in the market? What's going to have to happen for you to participate in the market? Right? It's a little general, but then they'll kind of give you some more information, and then you can see if you can provide a solution for them.
yeah.
We get that all the time, guys. It's going to be, you got to expect them to say, hey, I'm going to hold off, or I'm going to hold on. I'm going to wait a few months. So you got to ask that question. Okay, well, what's going to have to change for you to participate in the market now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to have to be interest rates. Oh, it's going to have to be price. Well, then you can then provide a solution.
Yeah. Right. What does it look like? Right. What does it need to look like for you to buy? Are you more focused on the payment? Are you more focused on, a certain price point? And then you can give, well, here's what I would recommend you do. Why don't we get you on the line with our lender? Right. Why don't we run numbers to see where you stand today? We can help you project what's going to happen in this particular neighborhood. Right.
I feel too, exactly what Jason is saying is asking the right questions. I met with 2 Zillow leads over the weekend, new Zillow leads, one in person and one online. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they're just starting. They don't even know what pricing is looking like. They don't know what they qualify for. They don't know. They have an idea what a comfortable monthly payment is, but once you start giving them all this information, it opens up the door. This is where I could buy. This is actually how much I can afford to pay every month.
Yeah.
And just guiding them that from that direction, I think opens up the door, even for their knowledge.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the other thing for us to understand is our audience, right? Our audience, if you're getting a hold of them, if they're reaching out to you through Zillow, they don't know who you are. So they're not going to be just, giving you everything. So you have to, one, come across with confidence, come across with that, that you care, that you're going to help them. But you have to ask those questions so you can build the trust to move them along, right? They're not just going to tell you their life story, right? They're not going to, you have to understand, they just met you online. They're going to be a little cautious. They don't know what to tell you. So you have to be able to create that curiosity, be able to make you comfortable and have that confidence so they are willing to open up to you. And that's going to be the biggest part, guys, is again, like Blanca is saying, she's been doing this for a long time, top producer, but she already understands the game she's playing, right?
Yeah.
We're not just going to get a buyer saying, hey, listen, this is my life story. You're going to have to sit there and kind of unpack it with them, right?
Yeah.
And it creates, that's where you got to build that relationship. And it's not going to take the first call. It's not going to take the second call, the third call. It's going to take some time for them to really tell you the truth. Right. And I think that's where we have to be patient. They're not buying a pair of shoes. They're not buying a car, right? Even when they go buy a car, even at a car dealership, they're not forthcoming.
Yeah.
Right? So I think understanding that and being patient with that and asking those right questions, being curious, confident, and making them comfortable. The 3 C's.
There you go. Curious Colin. Did you just make that up right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. That was good, bro. One thing we got to remember, guys, is when people are buying and selling, we're not playing checkers. We're playing chess, right? We're playing chess, right? Where it's multiple moves for you to get the sale. It's not just like, hey, do you want to buy? Yeah, let's buy. And then you close the sale, right? It's not, that's checkers, right? It's chess, right? So how do I give value? How do I open up the conversation? How do I come from a place of more like discovery call, right? And then, even ask them like, hey, how do you think I can help you right now? Sometimes you got to ask them, right? Like, hey, I know you're not looking to buy for 6 months. what sort of value do you think I can give you right now? Or how would you like me to follow up with you, right? Or what do you need to help you make that decision? The other thing too is always ask people, has anybody ever taken the time to sit down with you and go over the process, whether it's buying or selling? And you'd be surprised, a lot of people haven't had a formal like buyer consultation or a formal listing consultation. And you can say, hey, I know you're not looking to sell for a year, but has anybody ever taken the time to go over the process with you and like show you what it takes to sell? You know, what the market's like, what would you need to do to your home, right? This way in a year, you're prepared. You know, I'd be happy to come by, no obligation. I know you're not looking to sell for a year, but I'd be happy to come by and at least give you some info and we could stay in touch. And then what happens is their guard goes down because you keep reiterating, I know you're not going to sell for a year, right?
So there's no expectation.
There's no expectation.
Then. I'll give you guys a quick example, even on the lending side, right? I understand when you guys introduce someone to me and I'm the lender, I understand that they don't want to give me their social security number, their W-2s, their pay. They just met me. So the way I approach it is let me spend 5-10 minutes with you. Let me give you some information. Let me ask you some questions. I give them some scenarios, some numbers, and I let them know, hey, listen, now if it makes sense for us to take the next step, now here's the application. Now you can upload your documents. I don't need to pull a hard credit. I can pull a soft credit or not pull the credit at all. And I let them know that they're in full control, right? Once they know they're in full control, their guard drops. Then what happens, then I pass them back to Blanca. Blanca goes, shows them some more property. They get excited. They already have the numbers. And then they come back and they want to participate in the process, right? But it takes all those little steps and that approach, because if you hit them right away, like, you know, are you going to be buying, you know, right? You know, it's like, then they're in defense mode, right? You want to just let hey, I'm just here to walk you through the process. Understand you don't want to buy right now. Let's explore some options. Let's see if it makes sense for you to buy now or for you to buy later. Right? We'll go to walk. We'll go through that together.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, but I think, you know, as an agent, you have to really put yourself in that mindset and understanding they're buying a $2 million house, right? They're not buying a pair of boots from Nordstrom. So it's going to take some time, guys.
Yeah.
You got to build that relationship. And use your partners around you.
Yeah. Great question, Bina. I'm going to turn it over to Greg. Guys, we got Greg on the line. He wanted to share a couple things. So Greg's our partner from GFI. They do financial services. They help with tax deferral, you know, all kinds of products. But he had messaged me kind of just sharing some pretty cool stuff that one of his other agent partners did. And so I wanted to give him a couple minutes just to kind of talk about, you know, some opportunities that are out there. So Greg, let's go ahead and spend a couple minutes, man. Just give us an update on what's going on and how can we help our clients at a higher level. Wait, I think you're mute. Are you muted? I can't hear you. Maybe it's no, I can't hear you. Maybe your audio settings, click that little arrow, make sure it's on the right.
There we go.
There we go.
Better?
Yep.
No?
Yeah. Got you. Could hear you now.
Okay, cool. Here we go. I wonder why maybe Zoom and Google Meet maybe it's different. I'd have put the Google Meet, but okay. Sorry about that, man. What's up? How are you guys?
Great, man.
Good. Hey, really quick. So yeah, I spoke to Enrique earlier, man, and just shared some good stuff that's happening, you know, in the GFI world that you guys have access to as well. And I want to share something with you guys that I feel can be very valuable for, you know, everyone on this call. So, I mean, I know what the real estate market looks like, right? Some days are amazing. The market's hot. Deals are coming in. Enrique's, he's happy, you know. Other market may slow down, but you're still grinding regardless, right? And regardless of what season you guys are in right now, I just want to share with you a conversation that can, you know, create cash flow for you. Whether real estate is up or down, you can, you know, fill those gaps in, right? I mean, let me ask you this. How would it feel to bring in an extra $25,000 or $30,000 a month? Just by having a conversation, right? I mean, like, what would that do for you? I mean, what would you be able to do that you can't do right now? Right? The reason why I say that is I have a realtor, one of mine. He's EXP, but he's also with me in GFI. And 2 days ago, he made an extra $79,000 from a simple conversation that he had with one of his clients whose home that he sold, right? So he had a client with she had a 401k and a 403b, right? She had it, she had an advisor, but every single month her balance would go up and down, up and down, and up and down. And she pretty much got tired of having that, that emotional roller coaster. I mean, how many of us know here how a 401k really works? So maybe have the idea, right? So a 401k is called a market-based account. It fluctuates with the market. When the market goes up, you go up. Market goes down, your 401k goes down, right? Pretty much in a nutshell. Yeah. It's a tax-deferred account, which sounds good for some people, right? But when you start taking withdrawals during retirement, you're going to pay taxes on the 401k on your withdrawals. And also that employer match they gave you, you're going to pay taxes on that too. So the biggest mistake I see people make is they leave it sitting in a 401k, not knowing that they're fully exposed, right? So just like Enrique, just imagine you're 50 years old, the year you go to retire or the year before you retire, the market takes a 30% hit. And now you lose 30% of your life savings. What happens then? Can you still retire? I mean, is that money, if you do retire, is that money going to last you? Let's say you retire at 50, you live till 90. Is that money going to last you for 40 years? Are you okay going back to work in your 70s? Right? I mean, nobody plans for that, but it happens every single day. So what I specialize, guys, here in GFI, it's called rollovers. I take a market-based account like a 401k, a 403b, 457, a TSP, and I roll it into something safer that gives you the best of both worlds. So now you still get the gains up to about a 15% cap. But when the market goes down, you never lose, no matter what the market does. You never go backwards. You never give up your gains. You never play catch up, right? Especially for someone nearing retirement who maybe just bought a home, they need that guaranteed check, right? So there's an option to turn on what's called a lifetime income rider, where this account will pay you every single month for the rest of your life. No matter what the market does, you never run out of money. You see? If you didn't have to, I tell my clients, if you don't have to gamble your life savings, if you didn't have to leave your money fully exposed in the market, would you still choose to? Probably not, right? Because at 50 years old, their money has a new job. It's not about chasing high returns anymore. It's to protect and preserve what they worked 25, 30 years to save, not to gamble. Buddy Robert, back at GFI with EXP, his client had a little over 2 million in a 401k just sitting there. And all he asked her was, hey, I'm as your agent here, I helped you sell your home and buy the new home. And just, I like to take care of you 360 protected. You mentioned that you're retiring next year. Do you have downside protection? And she's like, what do you mean? I don't know what that means. Right? And he asked her, are you okay losing money now before retirement? No. How about during retirement? No. So that simple conversation, he leveraged me. He made an extra $79,000 on top of his real estate commissions. Not too shabby, right, Enrique?
Not too shabby, man.
Not too bad, man. So it can be real estate. It can be a family member or a friend that you know. We can help in any direction, whether it's life insurance, whether it's a 401k rollover, whether it's estate planning, protecting their home, mortgage protection. Just know that you have so much available through Jason, through myself, through Enrique here on the team. And I'm here to help, man. I'm really, truly here to help. Whatever you need from me, you guys know how to reach me. Yeah, that's pretty much Enrique.
Let's go. All right, let's give it up for Greg, guys. Yeah, I wanted to bring Greg on, guys, just because he's one of our partners, right? We're partnered with GFI, and we do refer clients over that way. Jason and I are affiliated with them. And it's definitely, there's a lot of spin-off business that comes from us, right? We meet with clients who need help with real estate, and then we find out they have other assets they want to roll over and stuff like that. And that's where we bring in one of the specialists, because this is all he does. So we're not necessarily the ones handling the transaction, but because we're affiliated with them, we do get paid, commissions and stuff like that. And what I like about, people like Greg and Ariocha and stuff like that is they're always going to sit down with the client and figure out what's best for them, right? Yeah. There's a ton of different services they have, ton of different products. They're not just pushing like, hey, sign up for this. It's always what's best for the client, right? And there's probably some instances where you tell your client like, hey, doesn't make sense to do anything right now, right?
Oh, 100%.
Depending on where they're at, right? So if you
Yes.
guys run it, the reason we bring Greg on is because you guys are out there talking to people. So if you guys talk to people where you're like, hey, this person's retiring, this may be worth having a conversation, it separates you from the other realtors, right? Because most realtors are all about how can I help you buy and sell, not how I can help protect you from a 360 point of view, right?
100%.
And so
bro.
look for those opportunities, guys. If you have someone, bring them forward. We'll help you guys make the connection. And if something comes about, you guys are going to get paid, you know, on that as well, right? So it's just a way to increase your revenue and help your clients out even more.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Any questions, guys, for Greg before we move on? And then Greg's made a commitment to, you know, be popping into some of our meetings.
Hey, I've been
sometimes
showing up, bro.
I have,
I've
I
been
have
here,
a
right?
question about
Yeah.
what exactly was that term that you said that that agent asked the client?
If he knew that she was retiring, so he asked her if she had downside protection on her retirement plan. Downside protection.
Downside.
What does that mean? What does that mean, downside protection?
Okay.
Yeah, it means if you have a 401k and the market drops, it goes down, you lose money. But if you have something built to protect you from the downside, it means no matter what happens, you'll never fall below zero. They will never lose any money. So they have that downside protection.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right. Especially for clients who are in that retirement phase, right? People who are younger can withstand the ups and downs of the market, but once they get to a certain age, they don't want to gamble with the ups and downs, right? Especially right now where the stock market's, you know, all over the place at times, right? So, you know, do you have downside protection? That's a great phrase, right? You guys do annuities, right? Annuities and different types of products, right?
Yeah, it's called a fixed indexed annuity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
fixed
that's one of their
indexed
products.
annuity.
All right, good stuff, Greg. I appreciate you being on, man. We're definitely going to be in touch when we have some of these opportunities.
For sure, man.
Right. Let's see how much time we got. We got 9 minutes. Okay. Really quick, guys. Anything on the mortgages that we need to go over?
I think just for you putting up the stats, and I'll let you go, but by you putting up the stats of how many, you know, just the inventory we have, I think that's a great way to leverage just the credits. I know Steve talks a lot about the 2-1 buy down, but just leveraging credits for the obviously a lower rate, because a lot of times if clients are concerned with payment, we can get credit from the seller to lower the interest rate. The other thing is covering for their closing costs, so they can come in with less money. So looking at where the market's at, if the property's sitting on there, even if it's not sitting on there, but that's a way for you to make a deal happen and make it a win-win for the listing agent, the seller, and the buyer and the buyer's agent, is by asking for a credit so that the buyer can have a comfortable monthly payment or bring less in at closing, right? And definitely the other thing is always get us on a call. Even if it's on the weekend, if you need a 5-minute call, I always tell clients 5 minutes, because it's not a big deal, right? If you tell them you got to meet them for 20, 30 minutes of consultation, then they get all nervous talking with the loan officer. Say, hey, look, my loan officer can speak with you for 5 minutes, go over the numbers, so you understand what your down payment is, what your monthly payment would be, and what your interest rate. 5 minutes, right? So when you're at an open house, when you're showing property, leverage that relationship because it moves them along a lot quicker, right? And then you're creating instant value. Remember, sometimes the client just met you, so by you continually giving them some type of value, you're starting to build that trust and build that relationship.
Yeah. You have anything, Steve?
Just to add on to that, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, what we're doing is jumping on 5 minutes and selling you and selling the appointment. We'll set that appointment for you, guaranteed. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. You get them on a call with us, we'll set an appointment and get them going.
Yeah.
The second thing was on the buy downs. Like I said, even if we have to talk to the listing agent or even the sellers, like we did for Blanca's deal, as long as they understand what we're trying to do to help our client, they'll understand and want to be participate in that as well. So like I said, there's no deal that we can't get done. It's just a matter that everyone has to be on the same page. Other thing is that we can do 100% financing too. I just closed one about a month ago in Hollister that we didn't talk about. So there's opportunities, but you got to get them on a call so we can show them opportunities. They don't have the down payment. Guess what? We'll get them the down payment. But at the end of the day, we got to know what their situation is.
Yeah.
So the key is getting them on a call with us to help us help you set that appointment.
Okay. The other thing too, guys, is just remember, if you guys were at the last training that we did with how to move buyers forward faster, strategy number 3 was get the lender involved early, right? Get involved with the lender. That is the strategy to move people forward faster, right? So if you have a client you just showed homes to, hey, let's jump on a call really quick, 5-minute call with our lender, right? Because what that does is it starts moving the ball forward, right? It starts getting them thinking about numbers, thinking about, hey, is this the right home? Thinking about what the payments might be, right? You notice how you guys, whenever you go shop for a car, right? What do they always want to show you? They want to show you payments, right? Hey, you like this car? Hey, let me go ahead and put together a payment for you. And they come back and they give you that sheet and it has like the 4 little boxes, right? And they put a payment in front of you. Hey, you think you can afford this payment, right? Because what they take you from is from viewing the product to now thinking about, can I make this work, right? That's a strategy, guys, right?
And they didn't run your credit yet.
Yeah, they didn't run your credit.
Really quick, just give me some numbers.
Yeah, and then if you like that, okay, now let's run the credit. Let's go ahead and take an application, right? Let's have you meet with the finance guy. They don't even have you go back and meet with the finance guy. The sales guy goes, gets the numbers, brings it back, and puts it on the table, right? Just to give you an idea. But it's the same thing you're doing, right? You go show them a home. You met them from Zillow, open house, whatever. They like the house. Let's just show you what the payments look like, right? And then if you do that enough times, then things are going to go through, right? So I want you guys to make that part of your process, right? When you're showing clients homes, immediately get the lender involved, right? It's a numbers game. If Jason and Steve or Ben from Zillow or whoever we got, right, talks to clients enough times, you're going to get people to move forward and want to submit an offer, right?
So make sure you have our phone numbers on speed dial.
Yeah.
If that's a thing, I don't remember. I know that used to be our
Speed dial back in the day, yeah.
But yeah, make sure you have our phone numbers in there because that's the most important thing.
And we don't need to run credit. We don't need to do anything like that. I want you guys to come from it from a place where there's no hurdle. You want to make it as easy as easy for the client as possible.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. I need like 5 minutes, guys. I want to show you guys one more thing. Who feels like they're using Chat GPT at a high level in their business? Raise your hand. Only a few. Okay. Who's not using it maybe let me rephrase. Who's using Chat GPT consistently in their business to help like expedite things, make things go faster? Okay. Let me rephrase. Who's not using Chat GPT? Like, I don't really know too much about it. I'm not really using it in my business or anything like that. Anybody? Okay. Okay. I just started using Claude, right? Chat GPT was like the one for a while. Now Claude is like the next big thing. And I just want to show you guys 2 examples. I got 2 questions today, right? One from Blanca and one from Mark. And so rather than me sitting there trying to think of how to answer their question, I was like, let me just put this into Claude and have Claude do that for me, right? So I want to show you guys a quick example. But if you're not using it, guys, and I'm going to do a further training. I just want to give you guys like 5 minutes of this, and then I'll actually do a full hour training on how to use this for not just this type of stuff, but a bunch of different things in your business and your workflow. That'll be the next one. So Blanca texted me this morning, right? She has a client that's looking in Stonebray, in Hayward, right? Hayward Hills, Stonebray for like a $2.7 million home. She texts me, hey, this client wants to know like the appreciation in the neighborhood. Wants to know about appreciation over the years, projected appreciation on a home. They're interested in submitting an offer. Here's the address. So Blanca came to me, wanted me to answer this complex question, right? And I was like, that's a lot. So let me just take her question. I copy and pasted it into Claude. And I want to show you guys what it came up with because it's pretty freaking cool. There we go. So I copy and pasted, right? Hey, I have a client who wants to know about the appreciation over the years, projected appreciation on a home. They're interested in submitting an offer. It's in the Stonebray community of Hayward. This is the address. Can you help me research and put together a comprehensive email? So then it starts doing its thing. It starts researching, looking at the trends, all these different things, gives me all this data, and then it puts together an email that I can just copy and paste. Or if you connect your Google, you can connect your Gmail. Basically, all you do is press open an email, and it'll put it in your email for you, right? So basically, this is what it gave me. Hey, client, ahead of your offer on this property, wanted to share a detailed look at how this specific property has appreciated historically, right? And forecast for the next 3 to 5 years. My goal is to give you the data that you need to submit a confident, well-informed offer. So it gave me the breakdown of the property at a glance. It gave me documented appreciation on this home. In June of 2018, it was a new construction for 1.773. In August, it sold again for 2.775. And right now it's listed for 2.788. What does this mean? It gave like the appreciation over the 5 years, roughly 9% per year compounded. That's excellent performance. From 2023 till now, it's basically flat, right? The market's been a little flat, about 0.5% over 3 years. This reflects the broader Bay Area cooling from the peak of 2022 values and the impact of 6 to 7% mortgage rates. And then it gave it a blended appreciation, right? Averaging everything from 2018 till now, approximately 5.8% per year compounded, which is still strong and long-term performance. It gave key insights, right, of that area, right? You're buying that community, right? You got to look at construction costs. Then it gave history just on Stonebray. It gave comparable sales data, right? It gave a forecast for the next 3 to 5 years. And then it quoted all these different things. What I expect for Stonebray specifically in 2026, flat to maybe 2%, 2027, 3 to 5%. And then if rates go a little bit lower, you're like 3 to 5% per year, which is reasonable. And then it took the appreciation and applied it to actually the purchase price. So it says in 2027, the home will probably be worth 2.886 by that time. In 2029, it'll be worth over 3 million. And by year 5, it'll be worth 3.3 million. So now it's forecasting for her. It gave her a projected equity gain of roughly 523 grand over 5 years at a conservative pace. And then why this matters, here's a couple points, right? Like all this stuff and the next steps, if you want me to put together a CMA. And then it could even like, once it has all your info, it'll like put the email signature and all that. So like a lot of freaking cool stuff, right? I'm like, right? Like literally like in seconds, right? And then I go a step further, right? Because I'm like, okay, how can I make this even better, right? And so then I go, hey, can you create a quick CMA with comps from the last 6 months for similar homes, include the days on market, list price, sales price, condition. Also give me an estimated price range for the subject property. How much should we offer on the property, right? Once it's done, also, I want a simple 1-page infographic. So this is me telling it, take all that and put it into a 1-page infographic that's easy to share with my client, right? So then it started doing its whole thing. It pulled all this data, blah, 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 right? And then it gave me the infographic, and then it gave me a 1-pager. So let me show you what this looks like. And it already knows like my style because I've already told it like I want like minimalistic, luxury style, a lot of white space. I want it to look like an Apple website. So when I like my marketing material, and it gave me like a quick CMA with the price range, offer range. And it even told you why that's a good range. And it even told you when to offer more, right? And then I was like, hey, this is not good enough. I want a 2-page, right? Because I want all the info from the email on 1 page, and then I want the CMA on the other page. So then I had it revise it, and then it gave me this final one, right? Which is now a 2-pager. So the first page is all the stuff from the email where it just breaks down the forecast. So it gave me all this forecast, historical appreciation, right? And a cool infographic, what it means for your offer, right? And then on the back is the whole CMA. And then the bottom line, like what's the estimated value? What's the floor? What's the low? What's the target? What's the high? What's the ceiling? And then it says going above 2.75 million should be reserved for multiple offer scenarios. Going above list requires clear justification if it has maybe better views, a better lot, or upgrades that are different from one of the other comps, right? It gave me an anchor comp, 35 Dunford. There's an anchor comp, same street, same builder, nearly identical square foot, closed for 2.66 in June 2025. It talked about the golf course, the cul-de-sac, upgrades, what the market's been doing. It even has a book a call with me right here. My thing, right? So what are you guys thinking of offering on that property?
Okay, so this is the deal. The agent representing the buyers, the sellers, they bought the property 2 years ago at this price.
Yeah.
So they're not entertaining anything at list or below list. So we're trying to get our clients to come in at a minimum of 2.8.
Okay.
So what I was telling him, Enrique, you can also put that information in here when you're creating this.
Yeah.
Letting letting the AI know that, hey, listen, they're not gonna sell it unless it's at this level.
Yeah.
You know, can we see infographics or see the study on something like
Yeah.
that? Based on the information we're receiving, and then obviously we have a view.
Right.
But I think that's the other trick, is that you can give it more information.
Yeah, so I mean, here's the bottom line, right? We're not gonna go too deep in this. We'll do a training on this because like for you guys to know how to do this. But what I want to point to you guys is that, you know, everyone's saying like AI is gonna take away jobs and all that stuff. AI is gonna replace people that don't know how to use AI, right? If you don't know how to do this, and I'm doing this when I meet with your client, right? Let's say they're interviewing me and they're interviewing you, and I'm doing this and you're not, and you're just giving them like this little CMA printout from the MLS. Who do you think is going to win, guys? Right? And the fact that it took me less than 10 minutes to create all of this, right? Because I tweaked it and refined it a couple times. It just makes your job that much easier, right? Question.
I want to ask you, how did you put together this report?
How do I what?
How did you put together this report?
What do you
Say
mean?
if a client asked you, said, hey, Enrique, how did you come up with this data?
Yeah.
I'll tell them I use AI. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
That was gonna be my question, because I think what it's advising you should do after these things.
Yeah.
is to inform that you used AI.
Yeah, that's fine. And you could say, hey, like, I use AI in my business because it helps me collect data faster. I verify everything, right? So you're going to want to verify the stuff. You're not just going to want to go print, send, right? You're going to want to verify, right? Look at the actual sales, understand it, interpret it, you know, and stuff like that. But it also sources where it got all the information from as well, right? It's pulling it from like reputable websites and stuff like that. It's actually pulling some of this data from the Redfin website that I showed you guys, right?
And we use something similar too on the lending side with MBS Highway. So
Yeah.
MBS Highway does this already and has been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not something that can be done easily.
Here's another scenario, right? And then we'll wrap up, guys. I know we're right over time. Give me like 2 minutes. So Mark sent me a question, right? Mark copy and pasted his question from his client. He had a buyer or seller reach out to him. Hey, sorry, Mark, it's been a while since I contacted you. Wanted to explore if there's an option to buy my ex out, right? Because he's thinking about selling, but maybe thinking about buying his ex out of the property. And it was this big, long message, right? And Mark said, how would I answer this? It sounds really complicated, right? So Mark's coming to me for advice. So I'm like, dude, let me just throw this in the Claude and see what Claude says, right? So the guy basically wants to know, should I buy my ex out or should I sell the property, right? And what would that look like, right? And so you can also put it into scenarios, right? Like if someone's asking you a question or you're trying to figure out how do I approach a certain client, right? Or this is an issue I'm having with this client. How do I handle it or different ways to approach it? It's really good for that, right? And so what it told me is like, hey, this is actually a really common situation, not as complicated as it first reads. The client's asking 2 different questions in one email. First, can he buy his ex out? Second, if not, how does the sale work, right? So your agent should address both plans clearly instead of getting tangled up in the divorce history, right? So one path is just talking about the buyout. He needs to get a lender involved, right? So we can actually see what they qualify for. If a buyout even makes sense, do you qualify to even buy this person out or what can you afford? And then the client also said, would it make sense to maybe have a low estimate of the value so that I could maybe pay my ex less money, right? And so it even addressed that here, right? This is where your agent needs to be careful. He's essentially asking, the client's essentially asking if they can shade the value down to reduce what he owes his ex. Your agent should not play that game. The response should be something like this. I'll give you an honest market evaluation based on comps. If we lowball it, your ex pushes back, she can demand an appraisal. That might backfire on you. That might create legal exposure. And then the sale path, right? Let's see what it looks like if you want to sell the property. It looks like the son's living there. And then I said, can you put that into an email for me, right? So you can respond to that. So create a dope ass email, right? Like, hey, good to hear from you. No need to apologize. Let's untangle this into 2 tracks so you can see your options clearly. Track number 1, buying her out. Before we talk value, you need to know what you can qualify for. I'll connect you with the lender I trust who's handled divorce buyouts before. They'll look at your income, debt, retirement timing, and tell you realistically what a cash refinance or buyout looks like. That number combined with the equity split in your divorce decree tells us whether this is even an option, right? Track number 2, selling. If the buyout doesn't pencil out, we'll list and split per the decree. I'd want to walk the property first so I can give you a real read on condition, prep work, pricing, especially given your son is still there and the yard needs attention. One honest note on the evaluation. I always give you a defensible number on comps, whether you're buying or selling. Going low on purpose tends to backfire. If your ex challenges it, she can order appraisal, creates friction that costs more than it saves. An accurate number protects you, right? And then it's the close. Here's the close. Want to grab 20 minutes this week? I'll line up the lender intro. We can map out both tracks so you can see exactly what you're working with before you make any decisions, right? And then it gave a coaching, right? Coaching point for your agent. Don't let this client's framing drive the strategy. He's asking leading questions because he's stressed and trying to optimize. Your agent's job is to reframe around what actually serves him. Clarity, a lender conversation, and honest valuation, not to answer the question as asked, right? Bingo.
Free trial?
This is a $20 version. So I was already paying $20 for ChatGPT. So I'm closing that one down and I'll be doing this one.
Now I'm going down the rabbit hole. We'll be close to like both questions. What's the name? Claude?
What do you like?
I've only been using Claude for like a week, right? But the thing with Claude is it's like ChatGPT on steroids. ChatGPT, I feel like kind of fell off a little bit. This one has like 4 different engines that you can choose from. So like some of them are more for just like basic tasks. Some of them are more for high level thinking. So you can switch between the engines. Some of them are more for like if you want to design like marketing material. And so it's just, there's just so much more you can do. But what I like about this is actually, I feel like it goes a lot deeper on the way it thinks, right? But who would like to see a training on how to like do this for like everyday tasks? Who already sees the value?
I'm doing a training tomorrow.
Okay. You are?
Yeah, I got some email.
Okay.
I'm sure they're going to try to sell me shit.
Oh.
Oh, you're going to be.
Okay, okay.
Training. I'll let you.
Can you share it? Or is there any more spots or anything?
I'll check. I have a show at 1:30 morning.
All right, let me know.
Enrique, did you see this on the mastermind?
No.
Okay, so they talked about it on the mastermind, and one of the agents on there gave everyone the instructions to copy and paste, and so it can do listing prep for you and get
Yeah.
the whole listing out there and everything. So I have the shortcut. with
Like the prompt?
instructions, The prompt.
Okay.
And you just set it up as a project, and then when you put an address in there, it like does everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the prompts are really important, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I was going to do next. I was going to say, for any other buyers wanting to make an offer, give me a prompt that we can use so that I could just do this every time. So anytime you're writing an offer, you can just put this thing together automatically. Imagine how much more valuable that makes you, right? Just right off the bat, right? Like you're coming in with all this info, a whole breakdown of the forecast, the history, what they should offer, the comps and all that. It's going to like your offer consultations are just going to like go to the next level. And also it's going to happen a lot faster, right?
Enrique, are you able to, did you have any prompts in there before, like Blanca's question?
No, I just barely started using it like within the last week. Yeah, my other stuff I've been using has been just more like personal projects, and also helping my fiance's business. So she's using it like fully right now for her business as well. It's pretty cool. So, the other thing too is if you've been using ChatGPT for a while, you can export all your data from ChatGPT and plug it into Claude. So now it remembers you and it knows everything you're all about. So you're not having to start from scratch with it learning you.
That's the thing. It actually, because I trained my GPTs in chat, and so I moved all the training to the cloud. Actually.
Yeah.
So I'm a real estate agent, so we are training it as a real estate agent. Sometimes you can ask it, be blunt.
Yeah.
To your client. So you already trained your AI there. You can't train the cloud again. So I'm doing that. So
It's insane, guys. And like, this is just scratching the surface. Like there's so much more that's like light years that you can do with this. You can hook it up to your email. It can check your emails for you. It can categorize them. Hey, these are the top 5 emails that are most urgent that you should be responding to. You can have it erase emails for you. You can have it could control your Google Drive, like calendar, all kinds of stuff, guys. And then there's an AI whisper thing that you connect to it so that you can just talk to it instead of having to type everything. And that alone supposedly saves you like 20 hours a week by just talking to it rather than trying to type, right? Like dictating, right? But it's called Whisper, and it's like a higher level dictating tool that you connect to this whole thing. It's insane, guys, right? Question, Ramiro, last question, then we're wrapping up, guys. I know I went over.
So basically you can set parameters initially for it to operate within?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can
Okay.
train it tell it what you want, and it'll learn as you go. It's learning, right? And it kind of knows how you operate. And you could even give it like, hey, this is my style, right? Even how the words should sound, the tone, leadership, all this stuff. Like it starts really learning who you are. Really good, guys. If you're not using this, like you're missing out, right? This is the 20 whatever first century.
So basically what we're telling us, we just need to dress nice.
All you gotta do is dress nice. Let this thing think for you. No, but know how to use it, right? That's the other thing, is knowing how to use it, right? It's not just plugging it in. You need to know how to tell it what to do, right? And so I think and the possibilities are endless, but if you know how to prompt it and you know what questions to ask, that's really where you unlock the full capabilities, right? I'm going to end there, guys, so we can go on and on, but I hope you guys are excited about this. I am. Let's just more round of applause, guys, for a solid week. Let's get after it. Let me know if you need something, guys.